This is the next car, and yes, OEM top. These are extremely difficult to get. AP2 retainers and keepers, Banjo Bolts, Öhlins. Look over just to see if we see anything that's a little bit weird. It did buy an idle air control valve, and it still idles funny. It has the AP1 idle where it kind of dips and acts like it's going to stall and kind of recovers. Look at this. It came via Seth. It has the plastic back window, so there is a change we have to do to make the glass back window work. You see where this kind of bends here? That's where it folds, hence why the glass window is only from this to this. That was the fold on the plastic window, hence why the glass is small. A lot of people ask about that. Hopefully that gives you an idea, because that is the bending spot right there. It folds on the fabric. But there we go. He just had this ceramic coated and polished. Looks absolutely beautiful. The LHT Mega Meet, November 8th. It's gonna be a quick estate. You're gonna see cars like this, and you're gonna see cars like this. And of course, you're gonna see the LHT cars, LHT merch, and a whole bunch of new S2000s and Honda friends you've never seen before. And of course, other models too, not just Hondas, not just S2000s. I'm a car guy. You might see a bunch of cars you've never seen before and have a whole new appreciation for it. November 8th, Quake and Stick, LHT Mega Meet. Be there, come by, say hi, pick up a t-shirt, pick up some merch, and hang out with your friends. It is Monday, by the way. Usually George brings coffee on Monday, but we ran out of gift cards. But you know what? We had some fantastic customers that give us a ton of this stuff. If you are remotely into coffee, you got to try this. That is the part number of the old top, the J04ZA. If it's a 5, it's the new top. New top sucks. We don't have them. We sent them all back. So one thing George is doing right here is we like to document everything on the car, even though I don't show you all on video. There is usually little marks and stuff. We like to make sure we know about them before we work on them. Last thing we want is the customer to think we did it. A few little chips around here, nothing too bad. I think you noticed a tiny mark under the door handle.
Yeah, I can't even get it in a picture. I don't know if it'll capture on video, but
I mean, it kind of shows all the stuff in the background, how good the paint is. And you can just see a little bit of a wobble there. It's hard to show up. Yeah. And I think you saw one over here on the fender.
Yeah, there's one little tiny guy in the fender, like kind of top middle there.
There it is. Yeah, right there. So a long time ago, we had a customer, we did work on his car, and he picked it up and he goes, "Whoa, you guys cracked the back tail light." And of course, we didn't go anywhere near the tail light. And if we did, we're the type of shop that would fix it without telling you, because we don't want to have you leave knowing that we damaged your car. So we would just take care of it, knowing that we caused the damage. Well, we looked at our security cameras the day he dropped it off. He's standing there. We zoomed in. Sure enough, we saw the crack on the taillight. We showed him that, and all of a sudden, his memory came back and said, "Oh, that's right. I remember that now." But if we didn't have document of it, we'd have been buying him a taillight. But super nice car. Let me show you the mileage first off. Give you an idea of how our customers are with their cars. This is a beautiful car, but it only has 29,363 miles. And we're putting a top and a clutch. Retainers and keepers are preventative. Banjo bolts are preventative. And we're doing Öhlins just to get rid of that huge gap. It's so nice to see all the clips that are supposed to be in here, because we get these with different clips, people breaking clips, forgetting clips, just not putting them back because they're trying to do these as fast as possible. There's a few mobile guys that do tops for ridiculously cheap prices, and there's so many times afterwards we've seen why they're cheap, because they don't put them back together properly or they don't rivet them. So many little things are not done right. We like to document this stuff. We like to make it easy for us to install it. Like these, we put separate, still got the other ones to put, but we put these in this cup holder right here. Oh, look at that. Look at it, this recovered.
Nice.
Wow, I was just saying that we're running out of coffee. Look at that. George, Esther, and John. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. I think he's planning on driving this home, so this is the little tip that I showed you guys in the past video. Did it on the Dragon, no issues at all. Use our clip tools right here for these clips. Look how much easier these are. Just spin these sideways. No problem damaging them. Just spin them so you can see them that way, right?
Good. You gonna do it?
Yeah. Oh, it's not making a cool sound because it's out in the sun.
Yeah, it's a little warm.
Look at this, absolutely mint. And he's got some of the LHT goodies right there. Retainers and keepers and banjo bolts. So we're going to drain the oil. And I think we're going to do the oil pan first because that has to be sealed back on. We always like to let our Honda Bond seal overnight, even though the tech guys tell us we don't have to. They tell us put Honda Bond on, put oil in, let it go, say bye-bye, drive safe. If you can, let it dry overnight. It's always better. So that's what we're going to do. Never had an issue with Olin's missing pieces, but always like to just lay everything out, make sure it's exactly accounted for before we assemble it. And that's one funny thing about Olin's, they just give you in pieces and you assemble it as opposed to installing them, then adjusting them to match. Anyway, we're gonna set this up to the LHD spec. You've seen it in the past. He's bought all of our parts to do the install. He's got the shift rebuild kit, the clutch install kit. He's bought his own master and slave. He's bought our drive shaft bolts from the store. We're doing the rears and the front. We're doing them both together right now. George is just putting the rears in there. We've shown you these so many times, but if you do have to take it apart again, our bolts are reusable. You can get the socket head without damaging them. This is the wrench that we like to use and it works fantastic. But the Factor one, it's kind of shallow and the head is soft. So many times you round it off. So we recommend if you're gonna take it apart, just put the new ones in. And if you do need to service it, you'll thank us. AP2 bolts. First glance, the head is a little taller than the AP1s. It's about 30-40% taller, but these have 4 holes instead of the 2 that comes in the AP1s. This is supposed to be for more volume. It's better cooling the piston, better lubricating on the bores. Some places I'd seen dealerships in Europe had a recall on these, or against like
TSB.
TSB. So there you go. You see the bolt head is not quite half the thickness, but as you see, 2 holes instead of the 4 holes right there. The lighting isn't the best, so not focusing very well, but there you go, 4 holes, and they're in the store. Buy the whole set in the store, ready to go. We'll deliver them to you. You can do this in your driveway. Bit of a pain, but definitely worth it. Soil is really clean, really nice to see this. Look how shiny the pan is. If you want to do an OCD oil change, this is the way to do it. Take your pan off and clean the pan and do your oil change and reseal your pan. That's if you're really crazy. Look at the gray in my beard. So, that's wisdom. That's time. It's also age. So, change your oil. I don't care what oil you run. I'm not going to debate with you about oil, and I suggest you don't debate oil with anybody. Also, don't argue politics or religion. That's a little tip that my mom gave me. I just slid the oil one in there because I think it's one of those arguments that is just never clear winner. So change your oil, change it with the oil that you prefer. I'm not going to tell you which one to use. Use your favorite oil. Just change it. The S2000, I think, is kind of a forever car. I've talked to so many of these owners. I own 2 S2000s. I own other cars too. But it's one of those cars I don't think you're going to get again. Meaning, you'll never get that driving experience again. They don't have it now. They've had to soften the edges because people will hurt themselves on it. So, one of the reasons I bought a Z06, because I think it's the most crazy car you can buy, and it's still legal to own. So take care of your car, change your oil, change it with whatever you want to use the OEM filter, buy the oil change kit in our store. It makes life much easier. You can't go wrong. Just change change your oil. You got any interest in this, George?
I'm not even sure what it is.
It's foam. I'm gonna see if I can remember to circle back around and show this. So for the people that said on the last video that was not a cat, it was a raccoon. Yes, I know. We have raccoons, cats, possums, coyotes, but it seems like cats are usually the one that eats the stuff anyway. So we couldn't let the oil pan go just dirty. This kind of builds up like a bit of a sludge spot here. It's not going to hurt anything, but you know, OCD nature, may as well clean it. Now we can put the Honda Bond on, put it back on, and let it sit overnight. Olin suspension done, height is checked. We've still got a couple of things we're looking at over here. The idle we're going to fix at the end. Like I said, we're not going to tell you what that is. Those we're going to leave till tomorrow, and we still have this. So we're in good shape. We have 2 days on this car, and then a third day worst case, but we want to stay within 2. And right now, it looks good. So I do want to give a shout out to these guys. I bought a pair of these in 2020 when I built the Colorado, because the Colorado came with incandescent bulbs, which were terrible. They were yellow. These absolutely fantastic. Well, one of them started to flicker, and I reached out to these guys and I said, hey, one of my bulbs is bad. What's the chance that you can help me out? And the guy goes, yep, send me a picture of it. Show me basically the serial number, cut the wire to show that you're not trying to pull a fast one. I'll send you a new one. New one came. Sebastian put it in for me the other day. Truck is now back to perfect lighting. So just wanted to thank these guys. The fact that their lifetime warranty is worth it all day long. They knocked the cup of faux, whatever the heck that is. It's been digging down here. I always like to show this. We're doing a clutch, and then of course we're doing a shift rebuild. He bought all the parts from us in the store. But this is something that's super common. I've shown you so much. This is foam. It just turns to like a mush. It's so bad, you can't even scrape it out there. We use the vacuum and just vacuum it out because it comes out in chunks. But even on a low mileage car, changing everything, of course, the upgraded spring, the 2 plastic parts that are the friction surfaces, but even this rubber right here, when you put everything new, it gives everything a much more solid feel, makes the whole thing feel tighter and more precise. But let me show you the best way to get that foam out of there, and I'll show you what the new one looks like. When you buy the shifter kit from us, it comes with a new plastic piece, because 90% of the people that work on these break it. But you see the arrows right there. You're going to put your screwdriver tab in there. I'm doing this through the camera, and you're going to feel for that slot right there and just lift it outwards. Really, really easy once you see how it works. Right there, see the little arrow? See that? That's all you're going to do. Just lift it up right there. See, that's the tabs that you're lifting up right there. And you see how this is just sitting there one-sided. It's not a big deal. Like I always mention, so many little things add up to a big thing. That is sitting one-sided, so obviously it's harder to move this way than it is to move that way. The new one, everything is centered, plus it just looks nice. So it's always good to see what your products look like coming from the perspective of the customer. So this is how we ship you it. He bought the pedal buttons, that's why they're in that bag. We're going to replace those. We're going to need to pull the clutch pedal out. Incidentally, I'll show you on the separate video, but we bought a car to resell, and these pedal buttons was done by the dealer, and they charged them $400 labor to put those buttons in, and it's a local dealer. And that is terrible. I mean, I know the dealerships have a much higher labor rate than us, but I mean, we charge $100 to put those in. They charge $400. That is the foam. The whole reason for this is noise isolation. The transmission is noisy. When this degrades, it sounds like it's much echoey and noisy. You hear gear noises and whining noises. This helps keep that quiet. And of course, the new rubber. See how much different that is? It's completely centered. And again, I know I'm kind of OCD. See, the hole is smaller, which means it fits around that shifter tighter. so it helps keep the noise down too. And this is actually some of the resistance you feel on the shifter. It's just the difference between a new car and an old car. Some people are going to go, who cares, just put it back together. Yeah, and that's go to that guy. Anyway, a new clip, just in case you break the tabs. Some people do. The foam, the upgraded spring, and then the two friction surfaces right here. This is what we call the cage. This is what we call the ball, hence because of its shape. But clean everything, put all this together, and of course use all of that Euro grease slot. I'll show you as it goes back together. But anyway, so as you see, I talk about this stuff way too much. I'm super passionate about this. I can talk about it for days. So when you do this, don't forget to heat up some water and put the ball in the water and warm it up. Even if you're in a warm climate, warm that plastic ball up, and then it will snap back together and it'll be less chance of cracking it. This is still the easiest way, I think, is to remove the whole pedal. The extra time it takes to remove this means that this is easier to do on the bench as opposed to laying on your back. That is the hard to find or the hard to replace one. Let me zoom in on that. That is the one that completes the circuit for your safety start. Basically, when you press the clutch, that completes the circuit. So when you press the start button, the car starts. If that is broken, it won't start because the car thinks that you might actually have it in gear and you're not pressing the clutch. It's actually a good idea. That's why they call it a safety switch. This is for the cruise control cancel. Essentially, as soon as you step on the clutch, it releases that. That's is the opposite way. When it releases, it completes and tells the cruise control to disengage. That way it doesn't rev to the moon, because you got to remember how much gas you need to hold to get the car to do 70 miles an hour, as opposed to when there's no load on it. If you press the gas that much, you would run the car all the way to the red line, damage the engine. These are the pedal buttons right here, factory OEM buttons. 2 for the clutch, 1 for the brake. I'll just remove that. As you see, it kind of crumbled as I pushed it out. This is the lower one. This is the one that everybody thinks is the one that they replace, and it fixes it. As you see, it's crumbling. I can break it apart with my finger. So it's a good job we're doing these, because they would fail and leave this guy stranded. These are an upgraded material from the ones that were in it, so these should last longer. It's a much harder material. So there you go. That can go back in. We're going to do the master cylinder at the same time, and of course make sure you grease that bushing right there. The pin goes through there. Make sure you put a little bit of grease on there. Honda seem to put dollops of grease all over the place. Make sure you put fresh grease on that when you assemble it. So even at 29,000 miles, you can see it's starting to leak. It's not bad. It starts off as like a greasy yuck, and then you start noticing it drip. But good idea to do it. Now's the time to do it if you're going to do any of this kind of work. Again, sometimes it's peace of mind, just like the retainers right here. 29,000 miles, it probably doesn't have a problem, but it's peace of mind next time you rev it to 9 grand. So 29,000 miles, it's actually got a little bit more abuse on it than we thought. Look at that. So even though you see a really low mileage car, you don't know how those miles are being used. That's just a little bit of splatter from the spline. Of course, the original bearing is perfect. It is a Nachi. That's who Honda use for their bearings. That's one that we include in our kit when you get it from us. But anyway, again, clutch worked, didn't have an issue. This is just preventive maintenance. That way this owner looks at this car like it's started from scratch. It's like a new car to him. All back together, new retainers and keepers in, valves adjusted, clutch is done, master, slave, fluid is bled. Just gonna let it warm up, make sure everything's good, go over the clutch, make sure the engagement point is correct, and then just check, make sure we don't have any fingerprints anywhere, and take it for a quick drive. So, first time using your clutch, go very, very careful. I usually recommend just keeping the RPMs down, keep the heat down, and just release the clutch almost at idle. Just so you're not putting any pressure on the clutch. Again, it's super OCD, but that's my nature, and that's obviously why this gentleman brought the car here. You can get a clutch just put in and installed, and then the guy give it a good old test drive anywhere. But do you want that guy test driving your car? You should be the one beating on the car if need be, not the guy testing it. He should beat on his own car. That's my idea. But yeah, everything feels good, shocks feel good, clutch engages nice, it's got the right amount of free play. We just got to do the fix for the idle. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm sure it'll do it, being an AP1. The RPMs come down, and you'll see it kind of comes down. Not so much that time. Not doing as much. It'll sometimes come down and do that little shimmy, just like a little shake. So always keep your wheels straight as you go up the angles. Once you clear the angle, then you turn it. Don't go into the driveway with your wheels turned. The wheel, as it goes up, doesn't want to go into the fender correctly when it's turned. It wants to be straight. I think I've shown that on the demonstration, but just in case you missed it. I did it then. Yeah, so I'm going to do a little adjustment, little trick, little tweak, and try it again. Sometimes do it with the air on a little bit more. Let's try that. That's more consistent. All right, that one is done. Double checked everything. These went up in price a lot. We just ordered them for this car, and the bill came in, and it was way higher than it used to be. Seems like everything is just shooting up. A white one. So I'll show you the list on this. This one is getting clutch, valve adjustment, seals, cup holder. Wow, look at that. That one's big. Look at that. It's like a guitar string. Cup holder, phone holder, the LHT Trio, Master, solenoid, and battery tie. You know what, let me write it down. All right, there you go. OEM clutch, shift or rebuild, compression check, red valve cover, UK mod. Customer's already bought phone mount, customer supplied. LHT bumper brace, pedal buttons, customer supplied shift boot, it's the LHT shift boot, LHT Trio, and LHT cup holder. Quite the difference from the last car. So we took the lower bolts out and the transmission started separating. That's because those bolts up there, which is kind of weird, somebody's put grease in them, like they were gonna put bolts back in it. You see that right there?
Yeah, that's all to hold the transmission on the car right here.
Just put like a finger full of grease, but
that's odd.
3 bolts. Yeah, that's what I saw through the hole, and it looked kind of odd.
Yeah.
I mean, looks like there's a thread in there. Anyway, 3 bolts not used.
That's all that was holding the trans on.
Wow. So 4 instead of 7. All right, so we're taking that down anyway. We're gonna take this and change the slide, change the seal. Same on there, tip the clutch, tip the flywheel down. Hopefully the flywheel is in good shape, and change the seal in there too. Even this one doesn't feel bad, does it?
No.
This is the one thing that I would never skimp on. If you're gonna go with anybody's clutch, either an OEM ACT or a Clutch Masters or whatever, make sure you run this guy here, because the cheapy ones do let go. There is a spacer in here that comes apart and jacks up the clutch.
I mean, whoever put it in didn't even hardly grease it, and it looks extremely dry.
Yeah, there's a little bit of sludge on that end.
Yeah.
You should put more grease in the threads of the block than just in case they put a bolt in.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is the new one. This is the old clutch right here. Flywheel and disc are there. Pressure plate is cleaned up. We just degreased it to make sure it's ready to go. Don't want to put these grubby guys on there. You want to make sure it's clean, and then we torque it down and install the transmission. Transmission is back in. Like we showed you, it had 4 missing bolts. Also, the top bolt to the starter that goes through into the transmission is missing, but we need to know the length. Basically, that bolt right there, it goes from the front of the car backwards into the trans. So the bolt is 60 millimeters plus
60
red.
there, yeah, so probably 80, 85.
Yeah, and it's a 14 millimeter head bolt. It's the one that we see people miss because they just don't want to work on it. It's kind of tricky. You got to kind of work through here, use a series of extensions and wobbly to get to that, but it is important. If not, that starter is flexing like this and it can cause an issue. This is a dummy motor that we use to mock up and build things from. So many times we refer to it. How long are those?
100 millimeter basically.
These are like SC bolts.
Yeah, that's like 105. I think the ACs are 12s for the Bs. I don't know about these though.
What about that one right there? That one.
That's 90. But the plain part of the shank's only 55 and our block is 60, so we go through, we got all that out the back.
So probably take.
Yeah, just cut a little bit off the end of that. Probably just that. Yeah, the plain does probably not all we need to take off.
Sweet. All right, I'll charge them $3,000 for that bolt.
That's a lot of labor.
You can't get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't even get it.
I think I showed you this car from the outside. Anyway, white, red, and black interior. He bought our shift boot, so I'm gonna go ahead and install that. He also bought our phone mount, which is right there. And I'm gonna install that too, and the cup holder. So let's get the shift boot. I'll show you again how to do it. So I'm gonna show you this install, and someone I talked to at the Classic Hondas meet said, I really like your videos. Would you do some of your install videos real time, which means I don't chop it and cut it? And I don't realize that I sometimes gloss over some of the things that you might want to see. Just that I do it all the time doesn't mean that you don't see how it's done. So I figure I should do some of my install videos in real time. So this is the shift boot, the way you're going to get it from us. That was packed by Esther, by the way. She does the packing. So take a note. It's going to have 4, 3, 4, and 4. Just note that. That's the direction. This is the Honda one. As you see, it was never really a very nice leather to begin with. I mean, it was cool, but this is an old car now. I hate to say that. It's 19 years old. I remember when 06 was not that old. Anyway, let's not go back to that. If you got anything in here, go ahead and empty it. That way, when you flip it around, you're not going to lose the customer's stuff. AP1s are very similar to this. I've shown it, and I'll find another picture. There's 2 tabs that you drill out. Basically, just run a drill bit. There's 2 little plastic welds you drill out. There's already a screw missing here. Not a big deal. I'll find out what size it is, and I'll go through our bolt bin and go and replace that. So first thing, Phillips screwdriver. Number 2, GIC, whatever you want to call it. These are screws. You're not really going to jack them up. Take these out. This is what I'm going to recommend you to do on any install or removal. Whatever screws you take out, leave with the part that they come out in case they're different lengths. Like this, they are different lengths. If you put them in the wrong place, you will put a dimple in the plastic. And I'm going to show you in a minute one of our magazine cars that one of the people that were working for me at the time put the wrong screw in and left a dimple in the dash. And every time I see that picture, I remember that screw, and I remember the person that did it, and it just stands out like a sore thumb, and it just bothers me a little bit. Going to take those screws out right there. Then you got 2 more screws here and here. That is going to remove that little panel that is attached on the other side. So take these screws out, keep them together. As you see, they are a different length from the screws on the switch. So keep them together. So once you get that screw out right there, little panel comes off. So keep those together. That's what I would do. Put them in that little piece. Now there would be 2 screws here to remove this little, that one looks like it's already broken. So that should be a tab that screws into it. See that? That is broken. That should be attached to this ring. That's why that ring is loose. One screw is missing and this one is broken. Might have to pull out my super glue and see if I can repair that for him. Let me get this out, if it will come out. See this piece right here? When I put my screwdriver on there, see it's spinning. I haven't got any pliers close by, so let me use Esther's little cutters right here and see if I can use it just to lock that in place while I undo it, so I can keep the camera rolling, because I can't do it real time if I have to leave and get pliers, right? You guys will say, ah, you cut the film, you did something and we missed it. So you know what, sometimes it's about ad-libbing. So there it is, that's that little tab. So basically 2 screws and this will come out. It's got the little clips in there which are both broken. So that should be glued in there, and the other one is missing, so I'll build something for that. But that's all that happens there, is there is a screw goes in there. Let's put that aside. So the boot looks a little bit different. This is formed in that shape. It's been in that shape since the day the guy installed it. So this almost has to be trained to go to that shape, right? Because it's being stitched flat. So it's essentially going to do that, and then this is like this. So okay, so note your tabs right here. There's one of them that's bent. It's almost broken, but you see there is 4, 4, and then 3 across the front. So just to pay attention to that. Take it off, careful. These are vintage cars now. That one's bent over. I hate to say that. It's like when you hear your favorite music on the radio and they call it either classic or vintage, or you go, wait a second, it's not that old. How is it vintage? Yeah, because it is. So there you go. So I'm going to install this, the 3 tabs. That's what I usually do, is put the 3 tabs away from myself, find my 3 holes, and take your time. You want to make sure it's under those clips. So what you're going to do is make sure all those little prongs go through. And these are punched. There's occasionally I've had to get a little punch and finish the hole off, because these are actually made in England for us, by the way. Same places I was made. Again, if you guys are getting bored, press the fast forward. If you press on the screen once or twice, it forwards the video 10 seconds, if you didn't know that about YouTube. So if you want to keep clicking on that button, if this is getting kind of boring, but for you guys that just want to see the way I do things, stay tuned, just keep watching. And also, if you squish the screen, you can zoom in on the video. I can do it for you. Look at that, that was that one that wants to stay bent. Or you can zoom in yourself on your screen. I know it works with iPhone, I think Android is the same. I think they're all pretty much the same. Said this in the past. I think all the phone company, the owners, I think they're all friends, and they all just tell each other, hey, what are you doing this year? Oh, we're going to put a bigger screen on ours. What are you doing? Oh, we're putting a huge battery. What are you guys doing next year? We're going to put a massive camera on ours. Those guys want to get us all against each other. Meanwhile, they're reaping the benefits. What does that sound like? Turn everybody against each other. Meanwhile, we're supposed to hate each other, and we all have a common goal. Don't hate. Just stay away. If you don't like somebody, stay away from them. Don't hate them. Just stay away from them. They're no good for you. Don't include them in your life. So there you go. Yikes. Didn't scare me at all. All right, that is in. So we're going to install this back on here. And then I got to build some kind of clip system for those screws, but this should snap in if it's put in there right. See these little pieces under here? They should snap in there. There, much better. So I just got to come up with 2 little pieces here and then install everything back the way I showed you it came apart. Right? Look how beautiful that looks. All right, so I'm not going to put all that back. You know how that went back. Put it back the same way. I want to come with some little system to hold this back together, because I can't let that go. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it quite yet. Tell you what, I'll cut the film and I'll show you. So there you go. Yikes. Didn't scare me at all. All right, that is in. So we're going to install this back on here. And then I got to build some kind of clip system for those screws, but this should snap in if it's put in there right. See these little pieces under here? They should snap in there. what I come up with. So we have these in the store and different color stitching options. There we go. It looks like we're red, blue, yellow, silver, and black. So you can match your steering wheel, you can match your interior. If you're doing the seat belts with us, or you're doing the stitched steering wheel, or one of these bags, we have this side bag. Same thing to match your colors. We have red, yellow, blue, and silver. That way you've got that little bit more of a special look to the interior. Anyway, let's get back to the editing right here. The mount looks like when it's installed, and a lot of people have asked about the gap, which, as you see, it's actually very minimal. I mean, it's almost even with the top. So if you watch that video where I did the install, there is a little flange of plastic that you're gonna have to trim off. That is what so many people forget, and that's what holds that out. But as you see, to me, that's perfectly acceptable, especially because it's even all the way up here. See this all the way on this side. Get around here. See that? So there you go, and it has the little brace back here with the foam. That just helps from this flexing right here, stops it shaking. And like I showed you, when you put the camera up here as a dash cam, having this being a little bit more rigid helps with that. There's our cup holder installed. Look how nice that is. And it fits nice and tight in here. It's nice and rigid, fits almost every single bottle. Perfect. Red valve cover, I don't think we showed this, but it is on the motor right now. Look at that. Looks super nice. VTEC solenoid is on. Master cylinder brace is on. George is just going to do the battery tie right now. We're chopping down on this list. We did end up putting plugs in it because it had some, what were the Bosch Uke plugs. Yeah, I don't know if they're selling Uke plugs on this side of the Ocean. What is it? I can't even read it. The writing is like so faint. They're double platinum, but anyway, these aren't the right ones for your car. So it's got good old NGKs in there, iridium, so we know we are in good shape. It's gonna run better with those guys in there. It's got sidetracked. I've been walking around with these and then I put them down and I forgot what I did with them. We just had another parts company come by, peddling their services. I've just left them in there. Esther's dealing with them. That's why I don't answer the phone and I don't talk to people when they're coming, because I get sidetracked. Put these down, spent 10 minutes looking for them. Best way to do this is to pull that pedal out. So we have our pedal removed, and I want to show you something. I'm going to use this pedal to demonstrate it. Something that I think is going to change the S2000 problem of coming out and your car won't start. This is the safety switch that I've talked about. You press the pedal down, it contacts this safety switch and allows the start button to activate the starter. Essentially, you have to press the clutch down for the starter to work. This is for the cruise control cancel. This is the easy button to get to. This is the pain. These are the buttons that we sell in the store, but for right now, let's not talk about these. Let's talk about you coming out on a Friday night and the car doesn't start. Just like it happened to our friend Jeff, SB Jeff, it happened at the car show. Well, then our other friend Jeff, designer Jeff, it happened to him, and it was enough to make him come up with a solution. We're going to call it a temporary solution, but I think it would also be a long-term solution. This is the paddle. This down in this section here, which is almost impossible to get in there. That contacts the switch. When it is in the car, it is almost impossible to get to. There is a handful of people come up with solutions and put the button on a piece of wire or on a screwdriver like this and stuck it up there. It is possible. I take the pedal out. I've done 1 million and I still take the pedal out because it takes me 10 minutes to take the pedal out, 2 seconds to pop the button in, 10-15 minutes to put the pedal back in. To me, that's easier than laying on my back. This is a solution Jeff came up with because he was dead set on coming up with a solution for his car, and he knew it was a potential problem. And that's where this guy comes in. You see this right here? It's going to look more familiar that way. You see that? That is the 3D of this. That is the fulcrum. That is that switch. This is exactly that. We're going to use this to demonstrate this. This is the switch that you're trying to get to. The pedal is swinging this way. It's operating this switch. This would be the switch that you're pressing down. You see that? What a brilliant model. What a brilliant guy Jeff is. This just looks fantastic. This is going to help demonstrate what this piece is. Now this, like I say, I'm going to call it a temporary solution. However, based on our testing, it's been in Jeff's car for a month right now, and we're keeping tabs on this to see if it's something you can put in the car and forget it. Ready for this? This is urethane. This is absolutely brilliant. This is this solution right here. And it's literally a one-hand operation. This is looking at it from the inside of your car. You're looking at it here. Here's the clutch, here's the brake, here's the gas. You're looking at it from here. I'm gonna do it from the side so you can see it. This, see how this works? It's gonna slide up in there, wrap around here, and pop into place. There. Now when you operate the pedal, it presses the button. See that? And it doesn't come out. And it's very, very stretchy. It's not gonna fall apart. But that is gonna operate your pedal. And it's a one-hand operation. So I'm gonna put it in the actual pedal so you can see it. This is just so you've got a visual. See the orientation there? This is the direction that it's gonna go in. You're gonna be looking at it from this angle, from here. This is the orientation. This is gonna be facing you. See the indentation right there? That is to help guide it in. And then the shoulder is sitting flat against the pedal. I wanna put this from this angle. Hopefully you can see how that goes in. So it is gonna go around there. It has to make sure it clears that switch. That is why it's got that taper piece. I don't know if you can see that in there, but that is gonna push from that direction. If I can hold it, you're gonna slide that right in there and it clips in right there. You see that? Brilliant. A few notes here that Jeff wanted to bring to our attention. So again, maybe Honda put the switch up in that area so you wouldn't disable it, because if you jump it, you've got no safety start. This is obviously easier and faster and just much safer. No tools required. This can be inserted sitting on the ground, and this has been proven by Jeff many times. He's designed this, he's tried it, he's put it in his car. There's a few little things that you can look at right here to help it go in there a little slicker. Rubbing alcohol, spit on the thing, baby powder, water, obviously nothing with chemicals on there because it could degrade this. This is obviously polyurethane. The cold weather will make this get a little stiffer, which means it won't bend around here. So room temperature, don't fold it up and tie it into a bag because it might stay in that shape. You want it to be the natural shape like this. So maybe put it in a Ziploc bag and leave a bit of air in it so it doesn't collapse this. When I did Jeff's car, it started to rain. I was out there when it was at night at a car show with an umbrella. That is how that guy goes. Look at that. That is absolutely brilliant. And this is like version 15. He built a whole bunch of these and just kept playing with it on his car. But you see that? What a brilliant piece that is. It's worth, I'm gonna keep one in my car. I just put pedal buttons in my car, but this would save me push starting the car or waiting for roadside assistance. But that's it. It sits like that. You're gonna guide it in there. And again, if it was lubed with baby powder or something, it would go in a little easier. But that's it. It's just gonna contact that button right there. As you operate the pedal, it pushes that button. Absolutely fantastic. By the time you see this video, this piece will be in the store, lhtperformance.com. Okay, LHT bumper brace. That is this. We did a dedicated video on this, but just in case you have no idea what this is for and wonder why do you need a piece of metal strapped to the bottom of your bumper. Let me put the car up in the air and explain. So looking at the back of the car, you see the bumper has that bulge right there. Some cars are worse than others. You see that? It literally grabs the air. And what it does is it gets more and more deformed. We've seen them where they're so bad. And then they pull the pins out of here because there's so much pressure on this. It pulls the pins out, deforms the bumper. Then the bumper does one of these numbers, and we've seen it cause spider cracking. We used to build these one at a time, and it was to a point where people used to ask for them, and I go, really? I've got to go get a piece of bar and cut it down and, you know, paint it and countersink it. Esther came with the idea. She goes, why don't we make them? Because I get asked for them all the time. So this is what it looks like. It's actually a really nice piece made of 6160. It's anodized black, and we have the stainless hardware right here that's going to come with it. That's where it looks super easy to install. You're going to pop these clips out and install the hardware. I'll show you how to take the clips out. Very, very easy. So don't break these clips. Use a flat blade screwdriver and do it little at a time. Don't pry it and break it. Do a little bit at one side, a little bit at the other. I'm doing this for the camera, so it might not be the best. Little at a time. That way you can use them again or use them somewhere in the car. See how much better that bar straightens out the bumper, not only visually, but it stops that pocket there, which who knows how much gas mileage it hurts, but it is like a parachute. The exhaust, actually the underneath of the car, the top looks good. The underneath is a little rusty. This is something that might be an issue down the road. He's looking at possibly doing bushings, and some of these bolts might need to be replaced. Maybe not all of them, but especially the compliance bolts. Talking of the exhaust, here is the UK mod right here. This would usually be refinished and ceramic coated, but because the exhaust is in such bad shape, usually we would basically brush this so it looks nice and clean, and have the mufflers black to polish the tips. These are probably going to be rusted. They're not going to come off in the hands. This
one looks a little worse than that one. We'll have to probably end up hammering our bolt extractor thing on there.
Yeah, and then you could potentially, I mean, the tip is a little damaged already. So, you know, you got to look at the customer from his perspective when you're working on the car, not just your own. Of course, we're here to make money, but we want to make money and feel good about it. I want the customer to be so happy, he comes back with another pile of it and sends his friends with a pile too. I mean, that's obviously the objective of a business, but if you really care, you know, the right way to do it is to treat the customer like yourself. So that is pretty much his list. We're just going to start it, make sure everything is good, look over everything. Here is his list right here. Everything's complete. That would be the last thing to check off. Let me do it left-handed to show you how good left-handed I am. That's not bad.
That's a nice check.
It's actually good. I'm going to start using my left hand more and more. This hand usually just sits in my pocket. I'm going to start using it a lot. This is what he owes us. Yeah, let's start it. Let's go test it, make sure everything's happy. Almost forgot, we did the oil, trans, diff, and brake. We're just going to do the clutch next. I wrote these down on a separate piece, but I like to keep all of the things together in one place so we can do a once-over and a checklist, and then of course make sure we put it on his invoice, because sometimes things walk out the door and we forget to charge people for them. Small business problems. But anyway, what does that say? DRF. Diff. So anyway, clutch next, and we'll drive it. This is a 95 NSX. It's actually here for a brake master.
What engine come in these? Let's see if I can get it open. I haven't even opened one of these before. Where's the thing at? There it is.
There it is.
Where's it at?
So obviously the spare tire would be here.
Are all Honda's front wheel drive?
Most of them.
Where's the thing?
So brake master right here. He has a new one. Let's go take a look. It should be an OEM one. These are hard to get. I know the S2000 one is discontinued. I can't imagine what this one is like. I don't know how we found this, but this is an OEM one, which I feel good about. Right there, before we take it apart, let's just confirm the bolt pattern. Right there, 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
We got a 12 mil thread in the back and a 10 mil in the front, both pointing out to the driver's side.
Yep, that's it.
All right.
Always good to be 100% sure. You've only got to take one of these off and find out the new one doesn't fit to remind yourself why you should do that. How do I know this is mine? That's some nice penmanship, George.
Yeah, I mean, just in case.
You could have been a graffiti artist, you know that?
I didn't want another John to come in and eat it.
Somebody's gonna go, wow, this is great, it's ready to go.
We just got our first Starbucks card back in.
That was literally DEFCON 3.
Ready? $20.
20 bucks. Nice. That's enough for, with that and the other one, 3 coffees.
Yeah, that'll get us
Sweet.
all taken care of.
Awesome.
Wait,
Set the timer. Right. We showed this in the past video. This is the flip car. We're going to show you all the different stages of fixing this up. This is part 1 of a 10-part series. It's going to be in a future video, but you're going to need to subscribe if you want to see it. We're going to go through this thing and build it like it's built for me or George or you. We're going to sell you this car, but we want it to be perfect. Don't forget, LHT meet November 8th, 6 p.m. You know, this is a hot spot for where the animals cross. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'll put it right there. Hopefully the birds don't see it. And the cat, raccoon, coyote, possum, whatever, finds it. We'll find out later.